All right, this discussion we're going to have now is over impact calculus. And impact calculus is, all it is doing is it's trying to explain to the judge how they should evaluate what the most important issue in the round is. All right, you're explaining to the judge that you should prioritize certain types of arguments over other types of arguments. There are 3 parts of an impact calculus. The first part is probability. And probability means how likely is the impact to occur. All right? And so there's 2 ways to win probability. The one is to just, the other team answered it, but you're just out debating them on that issue. And so the probability of the argument is high. That's one way. A second way to have high probability, and debaters like to say 100% probability, is if the other team did not answer your position at all. They dropped it. They conceded all the arguments that you made on a piece of paper. If they've conceded all the arguments that you made on a piece of paper, then it is 100% likely that impact will occur. In debate, concessions equal truth. You can make those arguments and win the debate on that. All right? The second thing is time frame. Which means how soon. So you can debate lots of things about time frame. You can debate which impact is going to occur first, and you can explain why that should take precedence over all other impacts. So whatever the first impact to occur is, you have to take precedence over. And so time frame arguments are really, really important when both teams have access to an extinction impact. Right? Because you can only die once. Right? So you can say, even if they win their extinction impact, ours comes first. Which means that we can live longer if you vote for us as opposed to them. And you'll win those debates off of that. But there are other reasons why how soon things occur are very important. Right? If you win your economy impact, you can use the economy impact to say that if the economy goes down, the AF wouldn't be done. Right? No one would buy new electricity, no one would invest in those sorts of things, right? And if you can win that economic collapse comes first before the investment occurs, then you can win that the AF can't solve as well. And so it's called a sequencing question, right? And so that's all occurring on the time frame debate. And then lastly is magnitude. And then this is what is the biggest impact. Right? A lot of judges are going to decide what the biggest impact is based upon what you say. So there's lots of different things you could say. You could say that a nuclear war doesn't cause extinction, but global warming does cause extinction. So even if they win that a nuclear war occurs, because global warming is an extinction impact, you should prefer the extinction impact so that at least some people will stay alive, as opposed to a nuclear war, which just kills a lot of people, but not everyone. Right? That's one way to kind of talk about it. What is the biggest impact? Right? There's also a question of magnitude when it comes to ethics. So like critique arguments or like racism arguments, those are ethic arguments. Those are moral obligations, right? They say that it is ethical to have equality, that you must preserve equality even in the face of like danger and extinction that could occur. And so they win arguments that ethics is a bigger impact than death. So you can actually debate what the word biggest means. And in fact, in other cases, like to make arguments about value to life, right? And anytime a case says value to life, what they're saying is that your life is worthless now, and you might as well be dead. It's better to try to bring value to that life, to make it something worth preserving, even if it kills a few people. Because their life is kind of zombie-esque. They really have no meaning to it. They're just kind of zombies, and you killing them doesn't really matter. Right? And so those are the three aspects of the impact calculus. You can debate probability and how likely is it going to be, how soon is an impact going to occur, or what is the biggest impact. And here's the other thing, is that these things aren't in isolation. Yes, you should talk about why the probability of your disad is more than the AF's advantage, why your impact on your disad comes before the impact on the advantage, and why it has a bigger magnitude. But you can also recognize that your time frame might not be as good, and so you can argue things as like probability or magnitude are bigger issues and should be prioritized over time frame. Right? So if you're having a global warming debate versus an economy debate, right, their economy disad probably has a quicker time frame than yours, but you can argue that because the economic collapse only causes war, not even a nuclear war, just a war, that war is not as significant as magnitude of global warming, which is extinction of everyone, and therefore that extinction should outweigh the economy disad, even though the economy disad comes sooner. You can also do that with probability. You could be like, listen, we are trouncing them on the global warming debate. We are beating them senseless on whether warming is real and whether we can solve it. We control whether our act is able to solve global warming. And we've got a couple defensive arguments, like economic collapse doesn't cause war, on their economy argument. So even if that causes it to be sooner, their economy disad occurs sooner, because we have defense on their position, and we are beating them on the global warming issue, the global warming should come before the economy disad because of probability. And then you can also explain it in terms of magnitude. And right, so but then on the flip side, if I was negging that debate, I could argue that the economy impact does cause nuclear war. Nuclear war would cause extinction. And my extinction impact occurs before their warming impact. And therefore, that should be taken in precedence over theirs. So really all you're doing is you're using these three concepts when you're conducting impact calculus to explain why your impacts are more important than their impacts. And as long as you do that, you can win a lot of debates off of just impact calculus alone.